What's up, YouTube? Welcome back to another legit movie review. I'm here with Flame Nash, and my name is Dr. Jones, and we're going to be talking about The Phantom Menace.
You know what? I think that's a little too specific here. Just the Phantom Menace. I think we're actually gonna talk about more Star Wars in
Star
general.
Wars.
Though I'm good just focusing on Phantom Menace if you are.
I, I could do Star Wars. I could
Yeah,
probably talk for hours about it, to be
yeah.
honest.
Um. So, it's kind of interesting. When was the last time you rewatched Phantom Menace? I'm kind of curious.
Honestly, probably about 2 years ago. Well, actually, it was when Force Awakens came out. I watched them all before that movie came out.
So you're doing a lot better than me. I watched the first half of it no, back when The Last Jedi came out, so 2 years ago. Um, but I never actually finished it. I think I got to the point where they started throwing a butt ton of politics into it, and just kind of said, "I'm done."
Yeah, I don't blame you.
I don't think anyone blames me for that.
I mean,
Just
like the only thing I would really stick around to watch was maybe the pod racing and then the Darth Maul fight.
yeah, but the problem about that is the pod racing's like within the first like 30 minutes of the first 30 minutes of the movie, and then the Darth Maul scene is literally the last 20 basically before credits.
And then the pod racing scene is just filmed so weird.
You aren't
It's
wrong.
always it's just like the same camera angle. It's just weird.
Definitely CGI'd.
Yeah, and that's one thing I think about the prequels that just doesn't really hold up is that the CGI, I think they relied too much on it compared to the original trilogy where they had practical effects. To now, it's kind of looking like it's dated. It's just cheesy.
I mean, you aren't wrong. Though, to be fair, as an opinion of someone who have watched and started with the prequels,
Yeah.
um, I think you're the same, right? You're back when you first got into it. You started with the prequels, also, right?
Hmm.
Um, Makes me feel really young.
Yeah, there's a nostalgia to it.
Yep, nostalgia. I don't know. I definitely think you're right. The CGI doesn't hold up. It doesn't hold up well. Like, not at all very well.
I
Uh,
think it gets better progressively throughout the trilogy.
I definitely think
Just
the third one. I think the third one has some pretty decent ones. I think definitely the
yes,
lava planet, the one at the
General
very end.
Grievous, pretty good too.
General Grievous was real cool. Um, Other than that, I think there's way too much politics in the prequels.
Yeah, it's like I don't even think it makes any sense really. Like something about I guess it's like the story of Palpatine's giant scheme of how he got his empire, but I think there could have been better ways they could have shown that.
Wait, that's what you think the prequel's purpose was? I thought it was to introduce the backstory of
Well, no,
Vader.
no, 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 the politics to it.
Oh, the politics.
Politics.
No, it's just focused on Darth Vader, just Anakin there. That's the only purpose. The politics weren't needed, basically.
Yeah, like just give us a solid origin to Darth Vader.
That isn't three movies and make nonsensical sense realistically.
Yeah.
So, I guess moving on from the prequels, if we just want to kind of talk about the Star Wars in general,
Yeah.
we have this new trilogy coming up. This actually next week from when we're recording this.
On the 20th, right?
Yep, less than a week from now, we have the new one, the last episode 9. What's your opinion of that so far? What do you think about it? I guess what do you
You know,
think about what we've seen?
I'll probably see it. I'll definitely go see it. I hope they do good. I personally wasn't a fan of the Last Jedi and how they just left it off because I just don't really know how they can continue the story from there. But I'm glad they have J.J. Abrams back. I personally think he should have just stayed for the entire trilogy, but I get why they. I think got Ryan Johnson was because they wanted each film to kind of have their own vibe, like the original trilogy. But I'm just kind of crossing my fingers, hoping that everything works out.
That everything works out.
Yeah.
I can definitely agree with you on that one. I'm really hoping it works out. Just like you, I wasn't the biggest fan of The Last Jedi. As in, I haven't actually rewatched it since I first watched it in theaters 2 years ago. Ooh.
I've watched it twice. The first time, I really liked it. I thought, wow, this is awesome. The second time, I guess I kind of took my fan goggles off for a bit and just watched it as if it were a movie. And it just, I don't know. Compared to the other ones, I just wasn't really feeling it.
I think I think what it does well is like portray this balance in the Force is like what it needs and everything.
Hmm.
I think that was really interesting because if we look at it, between uh between all the movies we've seen and all canon material, all canon in quotes, guys. I'm sorry,
Yeah.
we're talking about not legends. Sadly, I haven't read every novel that ever existed
I don't
about
think
Star
anyone
Wars.
can with everything that's out there.
Um, Especially in this, well, we see this like the evolution of the idea of balance within the Force. As in the prequels, we see the Jedi thinking balance is the eradication of the Sith and it being overly good, which in turn allowed Palpatine or Darth Sidious to gain control of the Senate,
In the
get
galaxy.
and in turn the galaxy and create the Sith. And because of this strong influence the Jedi had, it allowed for a strong influence of the Sith also to create this balanced forces, which in turn led to the downfall as they overlooked Palpatine.
Hmm. They were too occupied with the war or whatever
Mm-hmm.
that he created.
Yeah, I think Palpatine just played that well. I think Palpatine's probably he's smart. He's real smart, which is probably why he was the head of the Sith.
Yeah.
And I don't want to talk much more about him because he's apparently in Episode 9, at least he comes back.
What it looks like. Yeah.
Yeah, that's what it looks like.
Which, that kind of, if, I don't know. I'll have to see how they do it. But right now, I feel like if they were to bring him back, it would just ruin Darth Vader's sacrifice in the end of Return of the Jedi.
Yeah, you have a
But,
point. You definitely have a point there. Definitely ruins the um, Darth Vader's sacrifice in the end. I guess.
unless, oh, okay, unless they bring back like a Hayden Christensen or something. I don't know.
Gotta get the original Darth Vader actor, or else it's not gonna go.
Yeah.
Original.
Yes.
I guess going back to my point. So and we see in the next trilogy, so the OG trilogy. Um, so the OG movies, so 4 through 6, we see this imbalance of the Sith still getting control after the fall of the Jedi Order.
Hmm.
But then allowed Luke to come into power. Yoda still lives somehow. So does
Yeah.
other Jedi's after going into hiding, and then with the canon material, we see like rebels and everything,
Yeah.
and all that. And Ahsoka, Anakin's Padawan, all those people who are Jedi's but not Jedi's in quotes.
Yeah.
Those still exist, and then if we count non-canon material, there's an infinite
It's like,
number of
yeah.
Jedi's because of like the games and everything
Yeah.
that takes place between those time jumps.
Force Unleashed.
Looking at you, those games. Um, and then yeah, because of that, we had this huge imbalance between Sith and Jedi again. Um,
Yeah.
and which then allowed a Darth Vader, which is one of them like, which is why well I think one of the major reasons why it allowed Darth Vader to um one moment.
Yeah, no problem. This is just a quick commercial break right now. One of our we like to thank one of our sponsors, Mountain Dew. They're pretty dope for sponsoring this video. Yeah,
Yes, Mountain Dew. It's amazing.
yeah,
Gotta have that pure caffeine essentially,
yes. Cancer in a bottle or can.
or liters. Yep, cancer in liters.
Yeah.
So I guess going back to my point before the break, we had this imbalance, which allowed Darth Vader to like kind of see the error in his ways, in quotes errors, which allowed him to uh, split off, become good again, and then in turn sacrifice, as we talked about. And now in this new one, this new trilogy, 7 and 8 so far, since 9 hasn't come out as we're recording this,
Yeah.
surprisingly. Um, and because of this imbalance it created with the Jedi now more powerful because of Luke and his attempt to recreate this Jedi Order as he
Yeah.
sees it.
I guess something like maybe Snook or
So, yeah,
he rose up as the kind of this yin and yang
yeah,
relationship
I guess
of the Force.
it's like a great way to describe it. The Force is like this yin and yang. For a constant balance, there has to be an equally powerful side on each, and if there's not, something powerful will happen. Then it leads us to a new trilogy. Who would have thought?
Yes.
Hmm.
You know, like if they were to do a new trilogy, this is kind of just a side note, but why not do something like an Old Republic
Yeah, I think
with like Mandalorians or something?
just like going back into the past rather than continue the story of Luke or Rey or Darth Vader and everyone. Palpatine apparently.
Yeah.
Um, Rather than continue their stories, why not go back and let's see the rise of the Jedi Order, or this original battle between the Sith and the Jedi,
Hmm.
and like the creation, because we have in Legends, as I think it's officially dubbed by
Yeah.
Disney, it's Legends, Star Wars Legends. Um, we have the creation of like the Old Republic, Knights of the Old Republic. We have those games, and then we have KOTOR 2. Those that portray like these specific events in this past of the Jedi Order, which also had the Sith Order.
Yeah. And then
Um,
the Sith were eventually eradicated, or so the
mm-hmm.
Jedi thought.
Which then leads up to modern day, I believe.
Yeah.
It leads up to the prequels.
Good old Jar Jar Binks.
Yeah, that one character we don't speak of because he's stupid. Why, George Lucas? Why? Why did you think Jar Jar was a good idea?
Yeah. I mean, I guess if I'm gonna give him a little credit here. I don't think it's. I think he. I mean, at least his character isn't like too bland. Like I don't think it's. At least he shows more emotion than I think any other character in that movie. But
I mean, you aren't wrong. Because no one showed emotion. Except at the very end with the Darth Maul scene, which portrays Padawan, Obi-Wan, Qui-Gon Jinn, and Maul stupidly well.
that was. I mean,
Best fight scene of the entire trilogy.
that's debatable, but what?
That's debatable.
It was pretty good. I mean, like imagine after watching the original trilogy and then seeing that for the first time and just how they would step up the lightsaber battles from like Darth Vader versus Luke Skywalker or Darth Vader versus Obi-Wan.
How
I think the choreography was pretty good in that.
Obi-Wan just magically disappears and no one ever knows why because it never happens again
I guess until
until
Yoda
Luke does it.
or yeah, and Luke. Which I don't think they've really explained that.
But do they really need to? It's kind of the Force. They can do whatever they really want with it.
That kind of makes me wonder, like, if Anakin could come back as a Force ghost, and like, could that be like Darth Vader come back too? As Anakin is like the light side, and Darth Vader as the dark side.
Hmm.
But then I mean, they'd probably be like, you'd be saying that they're like two different people.
I guess going off your idea there, they're two different people and this like one person. I guess
Yeah,
realistically, because we have the torn ideals of Anakin, who was slowly corrupted into Darth Vader. Though I wouldn't, I wouldn't fully push it past that Anakin, the true Anakin, the little young one who we don't talk about. Um,
Gary Stu.
the poor guy. Um,
Yeah.
uh, yeah, it's the how it's still there and how he still yearns for the light side, and how he still yearns for this like quality, and how he knows, which I think was kind of interesting because Yoda at the very beginning of the prequels mentioned how he doesn't want to train Anakin, even though he is supposedly the chosen one, because he's too old and he has too much emotional connections.
Yeah, and then we really see that develop in the second movie when his mother is killed by the Tusken Raiders and goes on a rampage, killing everyone.
Mm-hmm. And then also the third one, where it's
Yeah.
because of his want to save his wife,
And
um,
probably hypocrisy in the Jedi Order
mm-hmm,
or whatever it's called.
which led him to,
Embrace the dark side.
yep, embrace the dark side. Surprisingly, the story in them is really well done. It's just hard to sit through.
If you can get past the politics.
Sorry, Palpatine, but your story's not as interesting as Darth Vader's. How does that make you feel?
You know, I'm sure he wouldn't be happy.
Yeah, especially since Darth Vader is his apprentice, essentially.
Yeah, but it looks like he's always trying to get an apprentice because Darth Vader is somewhat of a husk of Anakin.
Mm-hmm. But yet, infinitely stronger than him and infinitely stronger than Palpatine.
Yeah, I
Always.
guess. Oh,
No, sorry. I didn't mean to interrupt you there.
I was just gonna talk about like Jango Fett in the prequels.
I was going to
Just
continue
random.
talking about Darth Vader because
Yeah,
I think
go
he's a
ahead.
pretty
Go
cool
ahead.
character.
Go ahead.
um, and then infinitely more and more powerful than Palpatine and everything.
Yeah.
Wow. And we see in the original prequels, which is why I think,
Yeah.
yeah. Sorry, my cat just did something.
Not cool.
I think he might have peed, but that's besides the point. Um. So yeah. I guess going on to you had something about Jango Fett, right?
Well, now I kind of want to add to that.
Go right
I
ahead.
think
Just
like
talk. I will be right back. Let me go see.
yeah, I was just thinking about like how he was more powerful, but I think well, you haven't gotten this far in The Force Unleashed yet, but I guess another example of this could be when he was facing Mace Windu. I think that maybe he purposely let himself appear to be like he was losing to try to test Anakin to give him this choice of good or evil, and then through that he was able to see the hypocrisy of the Jedi and how they are like no good or better than the Sith.
Mm-hmm.
But
Yeah. I thought it was real interesting. Also, just like this, the realization Anakin had, but no one else had it.
yeah,
So either he really was the chosen one, and it was this mystical, magical metachlorians that we never heard about again,
yes, genes.
that allowed him to have this realization, or if it's some other force, either him actually looking into the Sith with Palpatine persuading him, or it was some other magical force, some unknown force which will have had him cause him to change, or them realizing that it's prequels and they have to set it up to the original, so Anakin has to become evil and become Darth Vader
Yeah,
somehow.
that's probably what it was. But I think his whole motivation behind it was that he wanted to save his wife,
Mm-hmm.
and he had like a nightmare of her dying. So it makes me wonder if maybe Palpatine gave him that nightmare because in the Last Jedi, Snoke or whatever was able to
Yeah,
um,
give.
give Kylo Ren and Rey visions or whatever. So I wouldn't think it'd be too far off to say that Palpatine could do that to Anakin.
Except, Snoke is not as cool because he's
Yeah.
only set up there as a plot device for Kylo,
Uh-huh.
for him to become this powerful Sith and cast away all his doubts, which I thought is really interesting if you think about it. People
Yeah.
wanted answers to Snoke, but yet we aren't gonna get any because A, he's dead, and B, he wasn't an important character in all terms of things,
Yeah.
which is really interesting because, um, like I said, Snoke is kind of there. We see him in episode 7, like one scene. Is he in there for like one or two scenes?
Uh, he,
He's not
yeah,
really
one or
in
two
the
scenes.
movie.
Yeah, not really.
And then in episode 8, he's in there for more scenes. He has like an entire segment.
He has like his own throne room, right?
Yeah, um he has his death basically,
Yeah.
which kind of like that's his entire like importance just in general was that he's there for Kylo to kill so Kylo can finally push off all of his problems with the Sith and fulfilling the prophecy of, which I noticed actually because I knew about this, like fulfilling how the Sith works as the Sith will kill their masters to finally
Yeah, that
become.
was he was like one of what? I mean, it's what his father or not his father, his grandpa,
That's
Darth
what
Vader
happened
did,
to
right?
Darth Sidious, so Palpatine.
Yeah,
He killed his master.
and Darth Vader killed him.
But Darth Vader died shortly after, so through
Yeah.
an explosion. So Snoke had to step up, and then
Yeah.
Kylo steps up next after.
It'd be interesting if he had like a apprentice or something in the next movie.
Yeah, that would be pretty interesting.
I think they said they were gonna do something with like these like Knights of Ren or something.
The Knights of Ren. That makes no.
I don't know.
I want to say that's not actually a real thing, but it could be knowing Disney.
Well, I think they were like J.J. Abrams' idea in the first movie, and they were teased in one of the visions, but they never came around in the second movie. But we'll see.
So Ren does wield a red lightsaber in the trailers.
Ray?
Rey, yes.
I'm probably thinking since Palpatine's back, it'll probably be like a Force vision or something. They try to tempt her to go to the dark side.
Also, Rey's lightsaber, her red lightsaber, the one that swings, that's double bladed,
Yes, the
is
flippy saber.
it's really stupid. I'm just gonna say that now. It's really stupid.
Like, why did I don't know. Like previously, before we were recording, but like you said something about Ventress's lightsaber and how it was practical because it could become two lightsabers and then connect to become a dual bladed lightsaber. Why didn't they just do something like that?
I don't
Something more
know.
practical.
Or give her a pike or something. There are
Yeah.
lightsaber pikes out there. Or bring in the Legends whip, the lightsaber whip,
Oh
light whip
my
they
gosh.
have. Those things are cool.
Those things are. That'd be like. You think that'd be really dangerous?
You know what? Light whips
That'd
are
be
cool, and I stand by that.
They are. It's pretty. But yeah, I thought Kylo Ren's lightsaber was pretty cool. It was a different. I like how it's like the medieval Crusader sword.
Actually has practicality with
Yeah.
light hilts. Makes sense.
Mhm.
Surprisingly. While instead, we have this double bladed lightsaber where when it's folded up, it's completely useless.
Yeah.
Though, realistically, I think lightsabers are probably one of the worst weapons you could realistically use.
I mean,
Because I guess you can easily slash off limbs, but if you do, you're literally just cauterizing the wound afterwards, anyways.
yeah, it's not like they're gonna bleed out or die of their injury if you cut off a limb,
Don't why?
unless it's the
Oh
head.
no, that's.
I mean, Darth Maul survived getting cut in half.
We don't talk about that because he shouldn't have survived getting cut in half, but he did. So,
Okay.
and then he became like half Grievous or something.
He's like a yeah, he's like a freaking spider. Tell his like brother came. Yeah, that was I don't know. Spider Mall. But yeah, like you think lightsabers would be better, but I mean, what they can dodge bullet or lasers, but I mean, look at all the people who died in the Order 66 in the third movie by clone troopers.
Those clone troopers didn't have the clone trooper syndrome. Maybe because they weren't clones.
Yeah.
And stormtrooper syndrome, where they can't hit anything.
Yeah, what the maybe if Palpatine would have just kept the clones,
And I did.
they would have been very accurate. They probably could have taken down.
I did. I thought the stormtroopers we see are the clones.
They phase them out.
They phase them out by
Yes.
the. I know they phase them out by the new trilogy, but is that in the original?
The original, they're not clones. Well, they're still clones, some of them, right? But they phase them out because I think in canon or Legends, I think it was Legends, Palpatine didn't want an army that was like united that close as the clones were because they were technically like all brothers.
Of the one same guy from.
Yeah. Jango Fett.
Jango Fett,
Boba Fett.
and his son, who's the actual son, I think, right?
He's like an unaltered clone.
He's the original prototype.
Yeah, I guess. Clones. I guess, like, I think Jango Fett was. This is kind of just random, but clones aren't, like, perfect, right? You can't perfectly clone someone. So I think Boba Fett was more. He wasn't as strong, from what I heard. I don't know.
Hey,
Something random.
though we can't say much because literally when Jango Fett, he's the first one. Yeah,
Yeah.
when he shows up, he's literally there for an entire movie and then gets his head
Yeah, but
chopped
he was
off
like.
by
He
Mace
was able to
Windu.
go toe to toe with him, and he killed some other Jedi.
That is pretty impressive. Though that's not saying much when we literally have the clones in Order 66 killing off
Yeah.
hundreds of Jedi's. Though to be fair, they did get it off by surprise, and quite a few of them lived. Or maybe there's just more. Maybe there's just more Jedi out there than we thought, and that's how they all survived.
Maybe.
Or maybe Legends doesn't count as canon for a reason.
Yeah. It maybe if there was like some Jedi out there who didn't trust the clones, he may have actually survived.
Yeah, that one character from Unleashed, the first Jedi you kill.
Uh, Legends.
No, but seriously, there probably was a Jedi out there that survived that way.
Yeah.
That we haven't heard of, though they fleshed out between 2 and 3, and then during 3 and all that, they've with the Clone Wars, because I think that's when that takes place. Does it go to the fall of the Jedi Order? I think it does. I think the Clone Wars does, and then Legends picks up.
It gets pretty close.
It picks up afterwards, I believe. It's after the fall of the Order.
Yeah. And then you have Rebels or whatever.
Well, yeah, Rebels. Rebels picks up afterwards because Ahsoka's still a thing.
And then some, I think, Captain Rex or whatever.
Yeah, there's a handful of clones that got their chip taken out, and I think Rex was one of them.
Yeah.
I think there was a handful of others.
Yeah.
But there wasn't a lot of them.
No. I think that's kind of when I stopped watching Rebels. Just lost interest.
It's on Disney Plus.
Yeah. I'll probably see if they have it on Cody or FX or something. Maybe I'll watch
Don't
it.
worry, guys. We fully endorse supporting companies.
Yeah.
Don't pirate. It's bad.
Yeah, I didn't say anything.
Yep. No.
That wasn't me. That was someone else.
Yep. Definitely.
But
Yeah. I think
yeah.
I think just in general, trying to think. Unless you have any other points, I think we're getting pretty close to ending this.
Yeah, I don't really have much else to talk about. I'll probably, I mean, we could probably do a follow-up or something when the new movie comes out. Talk
Yeah.
about that. Or
Probably.
whatever. Whatever this is going to be.
I guess yeah. I think no matter how much crap we gave to the Star Wars series for how stupid some of their ideas are. Looking at you, midichlorians.
Yeah, and
Jar Jar.
Jar Jar and
Some of the motives Palpatine had.
characters with no character development.
Darth Vader was pretty cool.
Darth Maul. I mean,
Rey's a pretty bad character in general. So's Kylo,
just
but less so.
Kylo Ren's like the soy boy Darth Vader with
But
anger.
actually becomes evil.
Yeah, I guess he's like tired of taking his master's bull abuse.
Yeah.
Has anger issues. Has daddy issues. Got over those though.
Yeah, he got rid of it.
Yeah, yeah.
He got over those pretty quickly. Yeah, I think no matter for what all the abuse we give Star Wars, I think it's definitely nostalgic, and it's
Yeah.
definitely important for us to realize that definitely had childhood and everything in it. Definitely was our childhood.
Yeah.
And it will be important. No matter what.
No matter how much Disney screws it,
Yep. And people will like it.
I'll always be there.
Mm-hmm. Well, I think that's the end of this. Unless you have any more final comments to make about it.
Um, not now. Like I said, I'll probably have more to talk about once
Our
the new movie
opinions
comes
of
out.
episode 9. We could do a review of that or something. That's like a follow up.
Or The Mandalorian.
When that finishes, well, if it finishes, ever,
Yeah.
season 1, whenever season 1 ends. Yeah, just kind of, whenever we get around to it.
Yeah, I mean, we just gotta do this for what, a month? Something like that?
Yeah, but time frames are important on this. Just,
Yeah. Isn't?
yep. Well, yeah, I think it was. I think Star Wars is very impactful for all of us. I think no matter what, even what time era you grow up in, or whatever trilogy you end up watching as your first one, I think they'll always have a soft spot in your heart. I think for us, as we said, it was both the prequels.
Yeah. Yeah.
For some people, it's this new, and I feel so bad for them.
Yeah, they got the off-brand Star Wars.
Yeah. But yeah, I think no matter what, I think Disney's gonna stay around for. Yes, I think Disney is gonna stay around for a while. No, but I think Star Wars is gonna hang around for a while, not only because it's a stupidly profitable series for Disney, but also for the
Yeah.
fact that so many people want it, and it's really interesting with what they can do with it.
Yeah. I'm just waiting for KOTOR 3. But other than that,
If they make a KOTOR 3, they have to make the first two KOTORs canon, and Disney's
which
not gonna do that.
yeah, unless they can figure out some way to make money off of it, like re-release it or remaster it or.
Yep. Well, I think this is it.
Yeah. I'm sure we'll find out some. We'll have some outro or something in the future.
Yep. But for now, this has
Uh,
been TreeJo.
What's our channel name?
TreeJo.
Yeah.
I think it's like TreeJo Entertainment or something.
Well, this has been
TreeJo Entertainment.
and I guess may the force be with you.
And of course, be with you.